shooters, loaders, and casters, welcome to the Georgia Shooter Connection Friday night live stream. We hope y'all all had a good week. How was your week, CW?
It was a good week. We had our first frost this morning.
Wow.
It was freezing this morning.
I hear you. It was cool here.
Yeah, it was cold. It didn't quite hit 60 today for a high.
Nice. My kind of weather.
Yeah, it was nice. 10:36 this morning. About 57 feet from the right of my one main deer stand was about a 300-pound black bear.
So you're making bear jerky right now?
No, we can't hunt them here. We gotta just watch them. But I wasn't in the stand, but my camera told me he was there.
Oh, gotcha.
And we took a ride down to the shore, and I got some crabs for tomorrow. Tomorrow for us is going to be opening day of Totog or blackfish season, so we're going to catch some nice fish tomorrow. Hopefully, we had some really good weather all week. The fall is here. Last week we were in the 80s for about 2 days. And here we are. It didn't get to 60 today, so that's how the weather changes around here. Good week. No range. But I got a couple of videos done and had a good time. Bama, how was your week?
Fantastic. Not a whole lot to report, but just yard work, and it melted some lead and got some stuff ready for casting. But other than that, not a whole lot. Walter?
Oh, am I up? Yeah, I had a good week too. Speaking of melting some lead, I had about almost 40 pounds of range scrap in my big old kettle that I was melting on a turkey fryer. And just as I was getting ready to ladle out, I ran out of propane. Stop, run over at the hardware store, get another bottle of propane, and kind of start all over again. But I'd got most of the junk skimmed off of it. But anyway, I got some ingots made this weekend. I ended up with a total maybe 60 pounds worth of rain scrap, which is my base alloy for everything else I make. And I bought a bunch of linotype, the actual little chunks, really cheap off of eBay. Came in at like $2.50 a pound, and you go buy lino from Rotometals, and it's $5 a pound. But you got to melt it down into ingots. So I did that, and I got to the range, and I got some video work done, and all in all, pretty good week. Pretty good week. I also got a couple of new guns coming in this weekend that I'm going to go shoot on Monday.
Nice.
I got a new guy in the side chat. This is a friend of Ricky's and now a friend of mine, Stan.
Is that Stan?
Yeah. Hey, Stan.
Well, there's Stan.
I gave him
glad you could make it.
I haven't seen Ricky yet, but we'll have to tell Ricky the Stan's on the board. Where are you?
Thanks for stopping in, Stan.
Yeah. Kyle, what you got happening, buddy?
The first thing on my mind is you were talking about propane. When did they start selling 15-pound propane cylinders for $65 when they used to be 30-pound cylinders for $19?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a standard thing? They're all 15-pounders now, even though it's still a 30-pound cylinder?
I don't know. I get mine in 5 gallons. That's all I want to lift.
Yeah, well, I hear you.
I think some of those blue rhino type things, they're the ones doing the 15 pounds and charging you for the difference. That's I think where they make their money.
Yeah,
they're never filled all the way. They're always light.
Yeah, we got one at the store, and I said 15 pounds, $65. It's only $20 if you exchange it, but $65 if you need a tank, which I've got plenty of tanks. I don't need that. But.
Yeah, it's way too much. Way too much.
They run about $20 for the 5 gallon tank with your exchange.
Yeah, we got a camper place right up the road from me. I'll just go up there and get them refilled. It's not that big. It's fairly cheap that way. But anyway, my week's been pretty good. Me and Dave were chatting in the side chat. We can't buy rain down here. It's been dry. I loaded up some beautiful 44 mags that I had cast up and coated and everything oh, probably a year ago. I stumbled across a bag of them, and I actually was smart enough to leave a note in there. And they're gorgeous. I'm hoping to maybe next Wednesday, while the wife's working, get out to the range and expel some lead. Other than that, just been working. We got our big one sale of the month going on right now. So today was hectic. I'm tired, and I get to rinse and repeat and do it all again tomorrow. But other than that, Rebel, what you got, brother?
I was going to say Blue Rhino is a great place for old propane cylinders are rusty and out of date. They'll take them, switch them. It's cry once, buy once, and then you go fill them up wherever you want.
Yeah.
You know, other than that, the 308 Remington I've worked on, I've decided that I'm not going to bother Chad with modifying the X Mark Pro trigger. That he can get down to 2 pounds consistently and it's safe. I just ordered me a trigger tech that should be in next week. That's 1 pound to 4 pounds. Good enough hunt trigger. And I'm still messing with some loads for that. That's the easiest thing in the world to load for, in my opinion. One of my first centerfire cartridges I ever loaded for. So,
just fill it up with Varget and scrape it off with a butter knife?
Kind of, Varget, Reloader 15, whatever, 4350, they all work. And not quite that full, but yeah, getting pretty full, I loaded some with some burger bullets. Not that, even though they're hunting bullets, I don't advocate hunting with them. I'll end up loading with 165 SSTs. That's a killing bullet right there. And that won't be hard to get accurate. I'll probably get it right on the first or second time, just a little seat and depth. And it'll be beautiful, but that's what I'm playing with right now. And hopefully get to mess with that 21st century neck turner that Trent's ordering, and that's going to be loads of fun. So we'll see. Andy, what you got?
I don't have anything that I know of, but
you always got something.
Yeah, I'm not catching nothing lately. Everything's good. I want to say howdy to everybody in the side chat. Planned range day was past Tuesday because Wednesday was supposed to be really raining. So I get all packed up. I get to the range. Sign up. Closed for some renovations today only. Okay. So just coming Wednesday, hopefully I'm going to be good. The weather looks good so far for Wednesday. I've got out my new grass deflector, some different loads, and the good old fun part. And work's been crazy as normal, and that's about it.
I hear you.
Good deal. So, Jamie, how was your week?
It was a week at work. I'm too busy to work a full-time job anymore, but I continue to do it. And
ain't that the truth?
It's to the point where I would make as much retired as I do for going into work. So I'm starting to wonder how much longer I'm going to do this and this, that, and the other. I mean, it's within a few $100, so we'll get it even and then bow out as gracefully as we possibly can. Other than that, man, I got my phone. I got it working. So y'all remember last week I was fussing about I had a phone, I had it ordered and all of that, and they canceled the order. And the day I was talking to them on the phone, and while I was literally talking to them on the phone, they sent me an email saying that my phone had shipped. So I'm like, this is weird. And so I
Yeah.
keep on. Okay, I ordered another phone. I shopped and found another phone, same company, and ordered it. And it was supposed to get here overnight. And this was on like Thursday. It got here on Tuesday. And I'm wondering why it takes 4 days to ship something overnight. But anyway.
They must be in Alaska where they have really long nights.
So I go to try to activate the phone, and they gave me a QR code. You know, you just scan it, and it puts the eSIM in the phone and all that. I know some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. A lot of you do, but it was expired. Well, it went to the first phone. They canceled the order for. So I get them to get my son come over, and he calls them and he gets them on the line, gets my phone working. The next day, the first phone shows up.
Oh, Jesus.
They have no idea I have the original phone. So I got to get a return authorization to be able to send them their phone back. And if they think I'm paying for the shipping, they got another thing coming.
No, you're not going to have to pay for it. They'll send you an email with a tag, a label that you put on there, and just tape it on there. And
that's what needs to happen at this point. And
because I can promise you'll never be able to activate that phone.
yeah, Apple has this certain way about them, don't they?
Yeah, nobody will ever be able to activate that phone until it hits an Apple warehouse again.
Make a good camera, though.
I did that with an AT&T phone, and Spectrum assured me, we'll send you a SIM card. You can activate that phone. No, that ain't happening. As soon as you take out that AT&T SIM card, that thing goes, wow. And that's it. And so I swear to the Lord that I called AT&T customer service, and I got a woman who had a very foreign accent. I'm not going to say what country, but
Her name was Sally.
It was somewhere next to Pakistan. Okay. And, yeah, her name was Sally, and I could hear chickens crowing in the background. I lie you not. I said, ma'am, do you need to tend to your chickens before you tend to me? She said, no, the chickens are fine. And anyway, we went on. On the second hour, I told her, I said, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to pack up his phone. I'm going to mail it back to you with a jar of Vaseline. You can use your imagination. And I hung up the phone. The phone's still sitting on the shelf at the shop. It was there when Jamie and CW walked in the door. And I don't pay no attention to their griping and little bills or whatever. I throw them in the trash can. I'm like, anybody with customer service that sorry doesn't deserve to get their phone back. You know, I tried. I really tried. But
that's the only reason that I stay with Verizon is because I was with them when it was AirTouch Cellular.
Oh, yeah.
Been nothing but exceptional customer service.
Well, that's my personal phone. This was for work, and it was through a deal about lowering my phone bill, and it didn't. It was a big mess of crap. So chickens.
All right, well, let's get this ball rolling. What we got?
I got nothing.
Okay.
There's Abigail. I just thought y'all might want to come in here and hang out for a while.
Well, we can do that. There'll be something come up.
Well, yeah, and I put in at 36, 30-06 is a FUD cartridge, okay?
I wish that
that?
word didn't exist for cartridges. It just shows people. I respect some of these people, and they come out with these comments. I just don't want to watch them anymore.
Talk to Carlos Hathcock. You can't unless you got a Ouija board. But Carlos Hathcock did some damage with an alt-6.
I saw somebody, Banana Ballistics, put out a video today.
I just said that in the side chat. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right.
30-06, if it was invented today, it would be called a light magnum. It would be called a PRC. Okay.
You know, is it something about is it useless or is it extinct, or I forget how we labeled the video, but it was like, and then a couple more sentences and the words come out of his mouth. Is it a FUD cartridge?
I hadn't watched his video yet. I just saw that, and it was
CW,
odd that y'all were talking about 30-06.
CW, does FUD revert to hunters our age? Is that what that means?
It must refer to people that know more than them, that they don't want to know what we know or can't understand what we know.
Yeah, I know who Elmer is, but as in Elmer Fudd. But
back when I was a kid, and I'm at the tail end of the baby boom generation, but they raised us to respect our elders, and I the next time I hear somebody say a boomer's going to boom, I'm probably going to boom. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
There's Texas 6. What's up, buddy? Well, Abigail's on there too. We'll call out side chat here in about 10 more minutes. But yeah,
Abigail went deep into alt-6 for a young lady. She, that's what she had to shoot. I hadn't heard her talk about it. I know she was loading for it, but I was proud to hear that a young person went to alt-6. I mean,
I love
you can kill anything in North America with an alt-6.
Yes, sir.
That's a good point right there, Walt. Of all these new cartridges that are coming out, the only long action cartridges that we see are these. Well, the 6.5 PRC, I don't even think it's a long action, but the
300 PRC.
Yeah. So
I mean, if I was going to build one, I'd buy a long action so I could, load the bullet way out or whatever. But
300 PRC is long action.
That's what I thought. And I would think. I don't know. I would think that the 7mm is too.
Yeah, they're on the same case.
Here's my definition of a FUD, Abigail. It's a guy who goes out hunting with his bolt action or single shot or whatever, lever action, and then he'll sit there and say that it's okay with me if they ban AR-15s. We don't need them to kill deer.
That's a FUD.
That's a FUD.
Well, I have other acronyms for that, but we'll call it a FUD for this.
It does start with F, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're filling up over there in the side chat now. I can't keep up with all of y'all.
You want to call them out now, Jamie?
No, we'll call them out. Thor's axe. Yeah.
Sadly enough to say, Dave, it might, but it's not. It's kind of like I can identify as a pair of scissors, but I'm not.
Yeah, I agree, Andy. 30-06 that's where it starts and ends most days. The
only powder that should be allowed to use to reload 30-06. Go.
48.95.
My man. Jamie, you shot my Winchester, right?
4064 works really well too.
No, it does.
I don't think so.
Okay.
4064 is another good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
for lighter bullets, but yeah, it's a good one.
Isn't 4064 pretty much the new and improved 48.95?
It's a little different burn rate. I use 4064 in a lot, but I use 4895 in all my 30-06s for my Winchester and my Savage.
There's Floridian. Yeah, we got 8 minutes. We're going to go through the side chat. Walks 4350 for bolt guns. Yeah.
I like 4350. That's my go-to 06 powder. But I'll tell you, I did a couple of videos. One with my dad's 06 and one with the new one, the Winchester. And Stayball worked really, really, really well in the 06. Really, really well. I ended up with
It works good in a lot of
Stayball
stuff.
for the Mauser and H4350 because I wanted temperature sensitive for the Winchester. And I was pushing 165s almost to 3,000 in the Winchester and almost to 29 in the Mauser. The Mauser has a 22-inch barrel. The Winchester has a 24-inch barrel. So those are tail end of 300 mag velocity.
Yes, sir. Yeah, anybody, I mean, all the new cartridges, and I'm gonna throw PRC, Creedmoor Arc, they're kind of remakes of other cartridges, but they have longer throats, tight twists, and designed to shoot heavier high BC bullets, which that's great if you can do it, you know, but ethical 500-yard hunter challenge and see all the cartridges that are shot on there to hit a 1 MOA target on a deer at 500 yards. And then a bunch of guys started saying, well, I could do that with open sights. So he invited them to do it with open sights. And he offered $5,000 as a prize. I don't think he's ever paid out. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll tell you, it was a big shock to me the day we drove up at Dead Zero. I had a buddy that always told me, he said, well, I qualified at 1,000 yards with my AR-15 in the military with open sights, with iron sights. When we pulled up on that range and I looked at that 1,000 yards and I'm like, no.
You qualify as sharpshooter at 500.
I don't think he could shoot 500
in the Marine Corps.
He's not that good of a shot.
The Marine Corps, it's all it's 500s. In the Army, it's what, Kyle, 30 or 300 for the
300 to qualify, to qualify, but to qualify sharpshooter, it's 500 meters.
And this wasn't full-time military. This guy was a nasty guard. So,
dude, maybe when I was in my 20s, but right now I couldn't see the target at 500 yards to shoot iron sights.
Nope.
I mean, I could see
so much haze.
I don't think there's a front sight small enough.
I mean, even wearing my glasses, I don't think I could do it. And we used to shoot moving targets at 1,000 meters.
There's a reason Quigley shot that bucket at 787. You know, it's a bucket.
Yeah, it ain't moving.
Yeah, it ain't moving.
That was still a good shot.
Oh, hell yeah, it was.
Darn right. And I've shot a reproduction of one of those guns with the veneer sights. I hit a golf ball at 280. And,
it was either a good shot or good camera work. We don't know which.
you line them sights up, and even though there's no magnification, dude, if it's on, it's on. And of course,
people don't realize how hard it is to shoot those kind of guns. The lock time is extremely slow. If your follow through is off, you ain't hitting crap at distance.
but like on a small target, you can miss it by a quarter inch and still hit it because the bullet's a half inch wide.
Right,
Almost.
that's true.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that I know that Tom Selleck's he is a shooter.
Yeah,
But
he is.
That movie made me want a sharp rifle.
Oh, sure.
Hey, Mark,
Hey,
I
Mark
got
Thomas.
I got a Taylor's and Company catalog.
That might be the ghost of Mark. We don't know yet. He hasn't said
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, there he moved.
There
We're
he
good.
is.
Well, I can
He's
see
not-
myself on my phone, but I don't see myself in the studio.
No, you're
You're
there,
in
bud.
here.
you're here.
Wait
You're
for it.
on.
Wait
You and
for it.
your, yep,
Give
you're
it
here.
a minute or so. I'm liable to drop out. I'll try again.
Ghost of Mark. I like that.
Well, while you're here, you want to tell us how your week went, Mark? Oh no.
Oh man,
Oh,
right
no.
on.
Timing is everything.
You cursed him.
Sorry,
you
Mark.
cursed him, Walter.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll keep my mouth shut. Dadgummit.
Mark had a rough week.
Boy, I reckon.
There's a Scotsman.
Uh-oh.
He's back.
He still don't see us, or he don't see himself.
What's up, Scotsman? Call
see
me
you,
tomorrow
Mark.
if you get a chance. Or you can get on here. Mark Thomas, how was your week, my brother?
It was good. I'm going to drop out again. I can tell. I can
Talk fast.
see myself in here, but I can't see myself in there. Seems like it takes 3 or 4 tries now.
You're here. Shit.
That's
Kyle, shut
frustrating.
up.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, it's 8:30. What can we type in, Walter?
Well, based on earlier conversation, how about FUD? Everyone ought to be able to spell that.
We have to.
We know what the F stands for, and the D is Democrat, so you can kind of figure out what that middle one's.
I put two
Autocorrect
Ds.
got me.
I put 2 D's in mine. That'd be damn Democrat.
There you go. I like it.
All right, here we go. Y'all are off of the screen. Let me back you up here. Okay, Andy 79Z28 is on the panel and the side chat, and he was the first in.
Yep.
Good to
And
have.
then I put Ford. Autocorrect.
We know what you mean. Kyle is on the panel as well. Mike Hester, the Rebel, is also on the panel. Walter Viejo is on the panel, and I'm surprised you came up with that, and those guys beat you in there.
Hey, when you
That
have
is
a good
rather
idea, everybody's thinking the same way, you know. I mean,
That is rather impressive.
Bama Dad's out there. He's on the panel as well. Walks Fletcher. Glenn Davis is out there. CW Longshot is on the panel as well. Crash. Texas 6 is out there. My brother, Ricky Baird. Abigail Finnegan. Mark Thomas is on the panel.
Somewhere. Florida.
He's on the panel. Okay. Yeah. Paul Loud's out there. Papa's Place is out there. Kyle Lusk again got his spelling right. New Tex I Can is out there. Ozzy Osbourne, Glenn Davis, Butt Wiper.
Oh, God.
Pollard is out there.
Guess who that is?
I Can, Bobby Barlow, Glenn Davis, Floridian, Corners and Doors. Hadn't seen you in a minute, bud. Good to see you. Alaska One, Andy. And I think we're up to date. No, Red Raider Reloading. Oh, one guy. Good to see you again, bud. Been a minute. Yeah, I know, Abigail. Put that up there for y'all. I feel that. I do. 3 Jeep is out there. The Crazy Scotsman's out there. Ron 2A Matters. What's going on? Golly, guys. Making us feel good. Absolutely. So good to see Mr. Pollard out there. Good to see all of y'all. Thank y'all for being here. I'm showing a dead even 40. Thank y'all for being here. So while we're talking about that, if you see that little thumbs up button down there, smash that sucker for us. We'd appreciate it. And one things we were talking about before we went live tonight was dripping bottom pour pots. And I think we're of the opinion that they all do it.
Dripper's gonna drip.
Yeah, I reckon. I've got the Lee 420, and I've watched a lot of CW and Walter stuff, and they've got these nicer pots, and they really make me want to do that. Glenn, I polished the pen till I'm blue in the face, brother. Really, I have.
That helps, but you really got to recut the angle. The pin doesn't fit the orifice down there very well. Doesn't make good contact. It barely touches, and then like Jamie was saying, you get some flux in there and any kind of debris in that, and it's gonna drip.
Walter,
really
about sick pots.
You really got to recut the angle.
It's like doing a valve job.
Even a little more. You got to take a lot of material out.
I still use my old Lee pot. It's not
going to drip.
Totally retired. It's still, but I just kind of let it drip. It's not, it's got the little twisty thing with the screwdriver at the top, and you can sometimes kind of grind off a little bit of whatever is making it drip, and it'll be better for a few minutes. But I just let it drip. That pot now is dedicated to 100% lead cast for those new cap and ball revolvers I got. So it's in service. I just let it drip, and I don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't have a bullet mold or a ingot mold I use a old. It's a pie pan, but it's aluminum, a little like a pot pie pan. I just stick it up under there.
Yeah, anything like that'll work.
Ingot molds is what we use. But I've got a Lee 10 pounder, and that is really pretty good. It's not bad. It doesn't leak. It doesn't drip bad. But I'll tell you, I've got a fancy RCBS. I've got a Lyman 25. I've got an old Seiko, and they don't all leak all the time, or I drip all the time. But occasionally they all will.
Mm-hmm.
I found the hotter you run in your alloy, the more it's going to drip.
Yeah, the more tin you got on there, the more Dr. Zinc you got in your pot, the more it drips.
Yeah.
That's the question now, Andy. Does the zinc drip?
Absolutely. Ask Walter.
Yep. That stuff is really, really hot. We're talking about 840, 850 degrees. And it'll
I didn't
drip.
think you could use zinc in a Lee 420.
You can't. You got to use a Seiko with a
The Seiko or the Lyman.
Yeah, you got to use a Seiko or Lyman pots.
Okay, all right, I got you.
These are cast iron.
Got you.
Remember when Elvis Ammo tried it?
Yeah, and they actually replaced his pot for it.
Yeah. He had a mountain of zinc underneath his pot.
God, that was
20
funny.
pounds of it or something.
That was funny.
They're nice, Glenn. They're nice. I got one from my buddy who passed earlier this year, late last year. I don't remember when. It was a little while ago.
Mhm.
But it's a nice pot. Walter's had one for a while. And he likes his.
Yep.
Is that the
My
one with
my
the
RCBS pot does not leak. It has not leaked yet, and I've had it for maybe 3 years now. The Lyman Mag 25 does leak and drip periodically, and every third pot full, I pull the pin out of it and clean it up, and then it's good for another pot full or so. But it is a dripper.
Is that RCBS the one with the built-in PID?
Yeah,
They make them, or they made them both ways.
yeah. I think the only one now is with the PID. I think they canned the last one.
Yeah, mine doesn't have it. I've got a separate PID made by our buddy.
Oh yeah, I remember when you got that one.
Yep.
That's who made mine and Jamie's.
Woohoo!
I made one for my Lee pot, but I almost never use it. It's more trouble than it's worth for what I'm using that Lee pot for now. But
Yeah.
Shows what happens with the second wife. Hey, I'm still here, dang it.
yeah,
That's interesting to know. Check that out. So maybe I'll buy a new one. Lord knows that one's great.
You got to check. What's the company there that has all the Lee parts, Walter?
Titan Reloading, maybe.
Yeah, check Titan. Maybe you can buy a new orifice and a rod.
They sell them.
Yeah. You just update your old pot with a new.
Yeah, you'd have to buy both parts. You need the
pin
spout at the bottom and the rod.
Yeah, but the whole crucible with the thick port attached to it already is maybe $10 more than buying the parts.
Okay.
They sell it. It's cheap.
Cool.
All right, we got 2 votes for the RCBS. Texas 6 and Dave both say their RCBS does not drip.
Yeah, mine doesn't either.
I don't need a new one, and the drip's not bad enough for me to warrant buying a new one. But if mine ever does go out,
I
mine
reckon
can do some stuff.
I probably run a little bit more lead through mine than y'all.
Probably.
Maybe a little.
Maybe a little. There's Mock.
What's going on, my brother?
Hey, Mark.
Where's he been? When we got to get him back on this board? That's what I want to know.
Well, he's working second shift right now. But yeah, he ought to be ashamed of himself, but he ain't.
No self-respecting mock that I know.
I know he's kind of like what's his name, Groucho Marx. I'd have nothing to do with any organization that would accept me as a member.
Wasn't that a great line?
Yeah, it was. He was full of them too, man. Hey, Mark Thomas again.
Yeah, I like my Seiko. I like all my pots. Even that little Lee. I've had that the longest, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. I use the little Lee mostly for pure lead because I don't generally cast a lot with it with the need for pure lead, but it works fine.
Yeah.
Just
That's
remember
exactly what I'm
everybody.
using mine for, and I've had that one of mine for a long time too. In fact, I have another one. Midway or Graphs or Mid-South or somebody put them on sale. I'm going to say 4 or 5 years ago for about $50,
Yep, I
which
remember
is
that.
way cheap these days.
Yeah.
And so I bought one just to have as a backup. So far, I haven't really used it.
It was Midway.
the old
That's when I bought mine.
Yeah.
And mine is dating back from the early '80s. My 10-pounder. And
Okay, who talked to Mark? Because he's gone again.
Untold.
You have to remember, you can't talk to Mark.
Yep. Yeah, and I still recommend that pot. If somebody wants to get into bullet casting and they're not real sure, 100% whether it's something they'll keep up with, and they don't want to spend a ton of money and then have it sit there, because you can spend $500 easy to get started in casting, or you can get a Lee pot and a Lee bullet mold, and for $100 and go to town. And if you like it, then you can upgrade as needed at some point, but you probably keep using that little Lee pot.
Yeah.
I think everybody who casts at one time or the other has had that Lee pot.
Yep.
That's all I use for casting lead.
Mm-hmm.
I have no troubles with it. I think I've only taken cleaned it out totally once after about 4 years, and the drip stopped again for about a year, and then it started again. And I said, "Yeah, it's fine."
I've got that little. Well, my brother has it now. That little Lee, that just a little bitty. What is it? A 1 pound.
The
Dipper pot thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that too, but I use that.
My brother's got that, and then I've got the other one. It's probably a 10 pounder. It's the size of a 20, but it's only half as high. It's for dipping.
Yep.
Not the handheld one. I got that handheld one. My brother. This one's a full diameter. It's 4-inch diameter, whatever, 3 and a
Yeah.
half.
It looks kind of like the 420. It's just no
Yeah,
spout
but
on
it's
it.
just half as high, and it's for dipping.
I use that for annealing.
That works fine. It would
One
be
of
a
you
good
guys-
annealing. It would be a good annealing pot, yeah, because it's not as high. You don't need all that depth.
I have a video with that little tiny pot with steel pellets in it, and to do annealing with it that way. It gets to 1,000 degrees.
One of you guys sent me that pot with some salt, and I used that to anneal my 300 blackout and my 308s when I need it. That was a whole nother rabbit hole to go down.
Steel shot, very fine, and just let the pot heat up for about a half hour. You get it. It gets to about 800 degrees if you leave it. It's like 3/4 of the way up or so, because the steel inside's holding all the heat.
Yeah.
It gets up to pretty damn close to 1,000. So you want to anneal, you just stick your neck in it. You got to figure out the time, but you can stick like 8 or 9 shells in it. And when you get to the last one, you start pulling the first one out.
Yep.
So it works well.
Yeah, I tell you what I don't like, which a lot of guys really in the bench rest game or F-class game, I don't really like that amp annealer. It's $1,000, or it was. It might be more than that now. But you have to sacrifice a piece of brass. And for me, if I'm paying $168 for 100 pieces of Lapua brass,
I got
for
you.
BR, I ain't gonna eat one up. I'm gonna use flame. I'm not gonna use induction. And I had a guy to try one, bought one because he's a jerk and he thinks everything, if you spend more money, then you'll shoot better. Well, no, you got to have some raw talent. And he said, "Here, take this home and try it." And I said, "Well, according to the instructions, you have to sacrifice a piece of brass. I'm not sacrificing one of my pieces of brass." He gave me a couple pieces of brass, and it anneals great. I mean, but if you switch lots of Lapua brass, if you switch lots of Norma, if you switch lots of Federal, everything's different. But it'll sit there and go done, and you pull that piece of brass out when you can because it's hot. It's kind of like annealing with salts. It don't look hot. So it'll just stick to your friggin' hand, but you pull it out and the neck's just melted. I mean, and it's done its thing. That's called what is it? The Aztec method on that amp annealer, I think. CW, and it automatically computes exactly what the brass needs. So your 99 other pieces of brass come out perfect. It's very convenient. It's very fast, but now that the bench source was $500, and now that there's a Czechoslovakian guy making one for $300, and Trent bought that, and we tried it on my BR brass. I said, "Look, I said I know how to set up an annealer. I'll set it up." We cut all the lights off at the shop. People were walking in, going, "What are you guys doing? Shut up! We're doing an experiment." And
We're working
and,
here.
Yeah, we're working here. And I was sitting there running those pieces of brass, and it does just fine. It's quick. You know, we don't quench water. We dry quench. And I know there's a lot of controversy over that. We just let it fall in a little aluminum tin. And it does wonderful, you know. And I think Cortina did a video about over annealing and how that really didn't hurt the brass so much.
Well,
So-
depends on how much you over anneal.
Right. I mean, you know, you can't sit there at 5 minutes to go make a grilled
Right.
cheese sandwich. You know,
Yeah. If
So,
you figure 3 seconds or so and you do it 5,
right. Exactly.
but you do it 7 or 8 or 10, and it's, you know, it's,
Yeah, it's cooked.
you'll see. The size
Right.
of it, try and see the bullet when it goes, you know, whoa, something happened.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: a Milwaukee drill and a 12 millimeter socket will do 300 blackout and 223 all day long with a MAP gas torch, but it only
Yeah.
takes about 3 seconds.
I've been doing that for years. And it's a little bit cumbersome. It's a little bit awkward, but if you got the right setup and a good bench and everything's cleaned off,
Yep.
And a good mitt or a leather glove to put on your hand.
I use a bare hand because you're not going to burn your fingers. If you get it hot enough to burn your fingers,
It's
dude,
too
you're
hot.
It's
too
too
hot.
hot.
You're
You're
doing
right.
it too much. You won't do it too much if you use your fingers. You won't. Well, more than once.
Yeah, I'm about to say more than one.
I've never used Templac. I don't like that stuff.
Is that the stuff that melts off at the right point?
No, it turns color.
It turns color as it reaches a certain degree, and all you're doing, I mean, it's forcing fire, man. All you're doing is taking the work hardness out of where you're torquing that brass. So
Yeah.
it's the best way to get proper neck tension consistently. I knew a guy, and he's a good friend of mine. And when he was max shooting, he'd buy 100 pieces of Lapua brass. He'd load them. He'd shoot his BR. Then he'd fire form them. Then he'd go back and he'd load them. And that was his max brass. So when that was done, he'd take that box and stick it up. And that was done. He never annealed at all. And I'm like, if you got the money, hey, that's great. You know, I told him, I said, can I buy some of that brass? He said, yeah, sure. I've got brass from him cheap. You know, good Lapua brass. It's been shot twice. I'll take that all day long.
Absolutely.
There's 75 more shots in that brass, maybe.
If you
And that's the only brass I would. There's other brass companies out there that are coming on, ADG and name some other ones, guys.
not Lake City.
No, not Lake City. Primo brass. No, not Starline.
Peterson.
Peterson. Peterson's really good brass. Norma's really good brass. It tends to be a little bit more brittle than Lapua. Lapua's been about the best brass I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, but
And-
they know it.
Well, yeah, they know it, and I mean, if you're into it's kind of buy once, cry once. You know, if you're using Hornady brass, that's all you can afford. Fine. If you're running up toward max loads, you better pay attention to the primer pockets because they're going to get loose quick. And I've had that happen to me before. A face full of powder gas is not fun.
No, it's not.
So
Then you're sitting there eating supper going, what's that in my teeth?
you're right. Right.
Because it loses pressure so quick, it doesn't burn all the powder, and you just get a face full of powder.
Yeah. Why is my eye hurting?
Right.
I used the ugly annealer. Uh, I used to have the other one. What do they call it?
Annealese.
Annealese.
Annealese, yeah.
Yeah, I had the version 2 of the Annealese. I still have it. It works fine. I have that set up specifically because the wheels burn on those things, just short brass. But specifically, do my 3006. I just set it up, ready to go. Turn the flame on, set the speed. Once and that's it. And I kind of like do it. I don't know. I did 357s on the ugly annealer. No problem doing them. Okay, and I didn't buy any extra wheels or anything. The way it came, it's works just fine. And my thing is I sit there and I'm not buying Lepore brass and stuff like that. Most of my shit's range pickup, so not that critical. I'm not shooting that kind of distances that I need to worry. But seriously, I just turn the lights way down. The moment I see that thing start to glow red, the brass, the flame starts getting red. That's it, done.
Yeah, that's
And
it.
you can see it with different brands of brass. This one is still spinning, didn't turn red yet. Well, you know what? For my shooting, it's good enough.
Well, it's really easy to see the differences in brass. Just do this experiment. Take a couple different head stamps, or older or newer brass of the same head stamp, and get your torch out and count seconds until it starts to go red.
Well,
and then do everyone at the same count, and you'll see some won't ever get colored. Because some take more heat to get there. Some take less.
Well, it really depends on the content of the brass.
Brass is not all the same, and that's why Lapua is, and Peterson is, and Hornady is, and Winchester is, and brass is not just brass. It's an alloy. It's got other stuff in it.
I've got some circa 1970s unprimed 243 brass Winchester, and that stuff, to look at it, looks gold. Whereas modern Winchester brass looks more brassy, if that makes any sense.
Sure, yeah.
Browner.
Yeah.
Normal was always almost coppery, or the old stuff. It's just what the content is, and you really see it. You really, really do. You go 3 seconds or 4 seconds in the flame, and some of it will be bright orange, and it's too much. And other stuff won't even be colored.
And I tell people all the time, when it comes to reloading, and they've got into it, and they're asking questions about centerfire rifle, and I go, "Well, boys," I said, "seat and depth is everything." "Oh, really?" "Oh, yep. And neck tension's everything else." And they're like, "What do you mean?" "You'll figure it out."
Yep, you'll figure it out.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah, if you're doing, I think anything over 200 yards, you've got to start paying more attention to your brass, like you said, the neck tension and all.
Oh yeah, sure. And
200 yards, you pretty much take brass, don't anneal it, don't do nothing. You're going to be good enough for the type of shooting you're doing. But if you're out there further, it was many years ago when I used to shoot. It was about between 500 and 600 yards with the 3006 in my house upstate. And after I got it dialed in with the right load and stuff, it didn't matter. I could hit the target. Let's say the bullseye's the size of I don't know, what is it, 3-4 inch maybe, and I can put 3-4 shots in that 4-inch. So that's it. I take a deer at that distance, no problem. So,
but then there, Andy, there's guys, and I'm gonna give you two positions here. First of all, there were some guys asked me about reloading the other day. I said, I've got a friend I talk to every Friday night that anneals 357 brass. What? What? I said, yeah, he's trying to get it to last longer, man. And
Neil my Maxi.
Yeah, and so they were like, oh, okay. And then we're talking about, when you're talking about 100-yard short range bench rest, those guys, it just 100 yards, everything they could do to get If you're not shooting in the ones, you're not competitive.
Yeah.
They anneal it while it's loaded.
Yeah, not quite, Kyle. But
But the 357, to me, I'm not loading hot. My hot rounds are kept separate, so they're taken care of differently.
right,
But my plinking, my fun stuff, I only anneal the brass when I do range pickup. I size them, do all the things to them, okay, and I anneal them before I load them once.
Right.
That's it. I never touch them again because I get 20 loads at 25, 30 reloads out of it.
Sure,
I'm not shooting
sure.
hot. If you're
Yeah.
shooting hot, you got to do it more often.
right.
You know,
But when I say in the ones, group size, that's 0.001. So that's 5 shots that are anywhere from 0.001 to 0.0019. And that's what's competitive nowadays. Now I couldn't compete at that. I'd have to have 2 gold horseshoes shoved where the sun don't shine to even compete in that match. My rifle can't compete in it. I consistently shoot my little PPC, and it's not set up in a bench rest configuration, in the 2s. Okay, so and I'll drift into the ones every once in a while and say, yeah, of course, but a lot of times that's luck. I've got some Speedy Gonzalez bullets a friend gave me, and then Red Raider Reloading gave me some bullets from his mentor that he made, jacketed, like 66 point something grain that I've got to try. And but from 100 to 200 yards, even a BR has a hard time beating a PPC. PPC's based off the 220 Russian case, and that's another misnomer, guys. For anybody that's wanting to build a custom rifle and has got questions, I had believe this or not, CW and Jamie, this is for you too, the power of the internet. So I haven't been on Accurate Shooter in probably 6 months, and I keep it loaded up as an icon, on top of my computer. Well, I saw I had a message, and so I get on there, and it's a buddy of mine. He's from Pennsylvania, and he was from upstate New York and then moved to Pennsylvania. And he's a shooter. He said, I understand you have some bench rest rifles for sale. I've got a friend that's wanting to get into one kind of a budget thing, and here's his budget. Wants to shoot PPC or BR, maybe something that could be rebarreled. And I said, yeah, I got something like that. I'll send you some pics tomorrow. And then I asked him, how in the heck did you hear all the way up in Pennsylvania that I had bench rest rifles for sale? Because I didn't post it on Accurate Shooter at all. And he said, one of your fans, which you meant one of my customers, must have private messaged him and told him. So we're living in a really small world here. That's my point of that whole thing. And it's pretty cool to be in that little world. And then you got little microcosms of that world, that are even smaller. But the NASICA action, which they've been discontinued. They were bought out by, I think, Kelby. I'm not sure. CW might research that and tell me. But I researched them. They were called NASICA Bay at first, and then NASICA. Really fine custom action guns. They have a Kelby style extractor, not a Seiko, not a M16, but a Kelby style extractor. Well, I stuck a 7.62 by 39 case in it, and the bolt. Now this is with the bolt taken out, and I go to pull it straight up. It's got it. Okay. Then I stick a 308 case in it, I pull it straight up, it's got it. So this thing could be a switch gun. You know, it would feed or extract either one, no problem. And I sent the guy the pictures. He said, "Oh, cool. You know, I'm gonna forward these pics to my buddy, and we'll see what we can do." So that's a little information. People get into, well, that's not the same bolt face. But a lot of it depends on what extractor you have on said bolt face. It can feed 308. If 308's the max, then it can probably feed smaller stuff up
Guys,
to a
I'm going
point.
to bail out.
All right, Andy.
I got people.
Good night,
coming in.
Andy. Have a good weekend.
Good night, Andy.
The last weekend, I hope that this room will be finished. The house is all painted and spackled.
Nice.
So,
Good night, Andy.
Good night,
see
Andy.
everybody next time. Have a good night, everyone.
Good to see you,
You
buddy.
too, buddy. Thank you.
Don't you love how Andy shows up in his bathrobe and popcorn every night?
Yep.
I just absolutely love that. He's such a curmudgeon. It's so cool.
Hey, don't say that. I'm wearing mine right now.
Oh, yeah, but no one wants to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, just stay seated, you know.
Yeah, and Andy pulls it off. All right.
I had just gotten out of the shower.
That's just like Walter pulls off that hat. It looked like crap on me.
Well, I hate that
Good God.
Veterans Day. Yeah, boy. I don't know what happened to Hillbilly either.
He's in the
There
side
he is
chat.
right there. You just said it, and there he is. He popped right up.
I don't see him yet. I'm gonna lag, I guess.
Yeah,
Hey, Hillbilly.
He's been in the side chat for a couple minutes.
Yeah, he
You did?
they got a lot of working stuff going on. He's got
Yeah.
animals he has to take care of and stuff. They're behind an hour of us here in the real world.
Yeah, Walter, I pull off a fedora and a big ass cowboy hat pretty good. So,
You'd look good in a fedora. I can see that. And the pipe.
yeah. That's it.
Not something I'd want to look at all day, but I don't look at myself all day either. That'd
No.
make me sick.
No, that's right.
I got a fedora right over there. I got a cowboy hat right there.
Yeah.
And I've got so many baseball cap type hats.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
me too.
Right.
Yeah, you ought to be in the gun business. People just throw them at you. You
Yeah,
know.
right. Mark got his.
Yep. There it is, right there.
Fedora. Yeah.
I got a friend with me who calls any kind of semi-automatic pistol. He calls it a Dick Tracy gun. And I'm like,
Dick
that's
Tracy
only
used
1911s, man.
Dick Tracy used a snub nose 38, dude.
No,
Dick Tracy.
you think about somebody else.
No, Dick Tracy had a snub nose 38.
Don't make me look it up. I tell you what I did look up is I ordered me and Ricky Baird some 35 caliber gas checks. Been having trouble with Sages keeping those, so I had to pay a little bit more, but it's not that much more. So I was able to find them at Titan, believe it or not, and
Yep.
Titan has the parts to fix your leaky 420 pipe, but they don't sell the 420 pipe. And while
They
I
used
was
to.
looking at that, I finally figured out what the 420 means, and it's not what some people Anyway,
It's 4-inch, 20 pounds.
right. 4-inch, 20-pound pot. Not 420, but anyway. Yeah, James, they've been out for over a week because I've been looking. Talking about sages. I've never bought any from anybody else.
Here we go.
All right, we can get the hint. Am I going to have to get mine? No,
Do I need to go get mine?
no.
Do you know what I make? Do you know what I make in this hat, Jamie?
What?
You know what I make in this hat?
Yeah,
That's a moonshiner hat right there.
that's your digger hat, ain't it?
That's my Mark hat. Yeah. Well, actually, if you've ever seen that, what is that movie called? About the Bondurants in Virginia. The guy that played that had a fedora like this, but I looked it up and a copy it's like $165. I was like, no,
Okay.
we're doing that.
Well,
Jamie Titan's got that Lee pot,
I couldn't find it. I even did a
420. It's on sale too.
really.
Yep.
What was the time frame of that?
On the Dick Tracy thing?
No, that when did that take place? What was the year?
Dick Tracy, God.
That was from the original comic strip.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. What was the year?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dang, I don't know.
30s.
That's what I'm
30?
thinking. Because
Yeah.
the Super was very popular back then,
It was a 1911.
and
so,
the Super was a 38,
yeah,
considered-
so
They're saying
38 auto.
the creator originally envisioned a 38 Colt Detective Special.
Yeah,
well, that's a revolver.
I can
Yep.
see that in my head. That 38 revolver.
Yeah.
Or I can see a revolver. Who knows what
I,
caliber?
s- I picture Dick Tracy in my mind with a 1911.
Yeah, I've
Right.
seen that too, but I don't know that it was him. I thought it was, all the other characters.
Well, I guarantee you, whoever wrote this is not a gun guy. So
Yeah.
But the 38, 38 auto was a thing.
Yeah. It still is, really.
I got a ton of 38 auto brass that I shoot in the Super. I just don't run it hot.
Yeah, 38 Super 1911.
Yeah, the
Dick
20s and the
Tracy-
30s. I mean,
I
that was
call that
hot stuff.
I call that a 9mm extra speedy. Yeah.
That's the only 9mm 1911 should be chambered in.
Yeah.
Not even 10 millimeter.
10mm is okay. Just the only
Okay.
9 it should be chambered in is a Super
Yeah.
or a 38 auto.
38.
Pollard says he remembers Dick Tracy with 38 Snubby. Okay, we got
That's what I remember.
I'm sitting here looking at an actual clip from a cartoon. From a comic book, and he's got a snub-nosed revolver in his hand. So I don't know who's writing this stuff, but they don't.
It
have
don't.
the facts.
It don't matter. He couldn't have put a dent in the Hulk anyway. So, I mean,
That's true. That's true.
that was as a kid. That was my favorite cartoon character or comic book character. He couldn't be beat. My brother changed. My brother changed over the years, and I was like, he can't beat the Hulk. Can't beat the Hulk. Can't beat the Hulk. Superman can beat the Hulk. No, he can't. Like that. We went back and forth. We had fights over it.
All right, there's a 1911 or a poor comic strip.
Yep.
But look at the date on that.
Well, the original date is what you want to find.
Yeah, that's the date of the.
Posting.
I remember Fearless Fosdick. That's the one I like.
Yep.
I also
Yes.
seen one with him carrying a Thompson submachine gun.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that, Jamie. Yeah.
Fearless Fosdick and Fly Face. And what were some of those other
Fearless.
characters?
Fearless Fosdick.
You don't remember him? He was the guy
No.
with the Swiss cheese. He had all the holes in him.
No. No.
Remember when PMC brought out the Ultra Mag, Humorex? What was it called? Ultra something or other. We called those the Fearless Fosdick bullets. They were flying copper tubes. They made them in 44 and 38 special.
I remember Snuffy Smith. He used a double barrel.
Yeah.
I think Little Abner used a club, didn't he?
Yeah, but Little Abner's in love with his sister, I think.
There's Bulldog. What's going on? Yeah,
What weird avenue did we just turn down?
I just can't.
Little Abner Avenue.
I guess, boy, you just never know around this place what's going to happen.
No. No.
There's Vanessa Kitty. Hey, Vanessa.
It goes quick. Hang on. Yeah.
I can't remember Dick Tracy with a snub nose.
Okay, what did Barney Fife shoot? Come on, quick.
I don't know, but he didn't shoot
Not
much.
very much. He only had one bullet.
Yeah, only had one bullet in his
Yeah,
pocket.
quick. Come on. It's a
A
Model 10.
pre-Model 10.
Model 10 Smith & Wesson.
It was the Patrolman, pre-Model 10.
Yep.
With at least a 4-inch barrel.
Well,
yeah.
now
Longer barrel, I think. Longer than 4.
I don't think.
sure?
It was, I don't think it was longer than 4.
Official.
It changed episode to episode. When he shot in the floor, when he mistakenly pulled it out and shot in the floor, I think it was a 6-inch barrel, but normally it was a 4-inch barrel. It's kind of like Dirty Harry. It was different barrel length for different scenes.
Edward Petty says official police. That would be a Colt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark
38
Thomas
Colt.
says 38 pencil barrel. That would be a Model 10 or pre-Model 10.
Oh my Barney, oh my Barney, oh my Barney, Barney Fife.
We're easily entertained around these parts, aren't we?
Had a jail and couldn't lock it. Had a bullet and had to keep it in his pocket.
They're making fun of me. I'm just going to quit. That's what he'd say.
Yeah.
Barney Fife.
I still think of Dick Tracy, though. Every time I look at the new modern watches, the smart watches,
Yeah.
we used to think, when I was a kid, we read Dick Tracy in the newspaper, and he had his two-way wrist radio, and we thought,
Yep.
yeah, right, we'll never
Yeah.
see anything like
Never
that.
seen it
Now
like
look
that,
at
yep.
us.
Yeah, I remember we had a guy at my church named, that's a good one, Ozzy. Nip it in the
Nip
bud.
it in the butt.
We had a guy at our church named Dick Tracy. And I introduced myself to him. He told me his name was Dick Tracy, and I started grinning. He said, I hear 1,000 comic book jokes every time I meet somebody new. I said, no, man, I just wanted to see your watch.
Perfect.
He wasn't expecting that one, was he?
He was our violin player, and dude, he could flat play. And he had an exquisite violin. There's no telling how much money that thing was worth. He wouldn't tell me how much he paid for it, but it was a Strat, not a Stratocaster.
Dang it.
Stradivarius.
It was a Stradivarius.
Yes.
Dang, I got excited when you said Strat.
You like those better than Telecasters, I take it.
I do. I don't play a whole lot of country stuff, and if I do play country, I'll just play it on my Les Paul.
How excited would you get if I told you I had from about 1965 that I bought new a Fender Coronado F-hole hollow body?
Nice.
Yes. That is nice.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to choke down some groceries.
I ain't got his black cowboy hat.
I got married in this hat, boys. Got the.
Wait, put it back on. There, thanks.
Okay.
The glare was still too much.
Shut up, Walter. is the shine too much for you?
Walter
Yeah,
was
the
blinded
glare.
by the light.
Do I need to keep it?
I like that hat, actually. Looks good.
Yeah, that is a George Strait Resistol.
I'm about to say it better be Resistol.
And my wife bought me that hat, and so I got married in it, and it is one bad cowboy hat.
You know, it's funny that you say that you got married in that hat because I got married in this hair.
I actually had hair when I got married.
All right, now you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think a lot of that other brand are cowboy hats, but they don't know the Resistols are better and typically cost more money.
Well,
Ain't nothing wrong with Stetson, though.
nothing wrong with Stetson, but if George Strait wears a Resistol, I'm gonna wear a Resistol.
They're both good hats. They really are.
Yeah, they are.
That's a Resistol.
Yeah, I like that hat. That's got the Montana pinch in it.
Yeah, it does. I think that one came from Minnesota.
Well,
That a Mr. Revolver hat?
Yeah.
you got to remember, I mean, I'm the big heavy metal guy from the 80s, and then I'm dating a gal that's 9 years younger than me, and she wants to go to a George Strait concert that Tim McGraw concert. And I'm like, I don't want to go to no country music concert. I don't even like being around that many people. But I said, okay, I'll go. And there was a
Don't take
venue.
the girl.
Yeah. And there was a venue outside, and she walked in there and she said, "What's your hat size?"
Big.
And I said, "Watermelon." Anyway, that guy fitted me. And actually, that hat needs to be steamed a little bit. I haven't worn it in a little while, and they'll shrink up on you just like cowboy boots will. I try to get in my black cowboy boots, which are deer skin, and they're about to kill me. I mean, it took like 15 midgets to help me pull on them cowboy boots, and I realized, okay, I've neglected these, so I had to use some leather softener and this and that back and forth, heat them up a little bit, and they fit just fine. So, but a good cowboy hat's something to be coveted. It really is.
Yeah, it is. I'm fixing to get me a couple more.
I've got a straw George Strait Resistol. It's all North Carolina redneck bent up. But I like wearing that black hat and asking someone, "Are we cross?"
Rebel, you'll get a kick out of this. The guy
Yeah.
that owns the place where we do our open mic nights, he lets us play in his parlor. It's a hat
Right.
shop.
Yeah.
He's making me a Woodrow F. call.
Yeah, you told me. And well, actually, Jamie's is not a true Montana pinch. That Woodrow F. Gall is a big top Montana pinch. If you had mittens on, imagine how you'd pinch the top of your hat, take it off.
Right.
And you need to get you a Walker Colt reproduction.
Yeah, right.
From Taylor's and Company. Yep. Yeah. I just did that whole scene where Robert Duvall's got that Walker Colt up by its barrel.
If you care to turn around, you'll see what we look like when they wanted to make us senators.
Yeah, well, no, I'm thinking about when he had Call roped and he's getting ready to whomp him in the head to keep
him. When that cavalryman attacked me.
Yeah, he was like, call.
It's me.
It's me.
What a fantastic movie.
Yes.
Even the bad parts were good.
Well, Robert Duvall makes fantastic Westerns.
Yeah, he does.
Probably one of the greatest Western actors of our time.
Yeah. One of my favorite scenes is when they're shooting at him with that buffalo gun, the bandits.
Oh, yeah. He takes that.
He's already killed his horse, and he said, by God, I've had about enough of this shit.
He pulls up that ladder sight, sinks that 4440 right in his belly button. Yeah.
We got to go.
Well, and we talk about Clint Eastwood, John Wayne, and all that, but Robert Duvall, he deserves some credit. So does Gene Hackman, and so does Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood's kind of bled in that modern era with Unforgiven, which was a great Western. I've got into watching little cuts, little snippets of old black and white Westerns, and I didn't realize what a great Western actor Glenn Ford was. So watching The Fastest Gun Alive, and I watched the end scene, the gunfight scene, where he's obviously the fastest gun alive, but he gets killed. They're burying him at the end of it. And I was like, that's a bummer. That sucks.
Isn't that a contradiction in terms?
Yeah, really. If that was John Wayne, he wouldn't have died.
But John Wayne did in more than one movie.
Yeah, but he didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
I always heard, what's the, golly, I can't never remember. What was the bad guy in the Cowboys? What's that actor? Bruce Dern. Bruce Dern. And Bruce Dern said John Wayne was so mad that he was going to die in that movie that scene where he picks him up and slams him against a tree, he said he actually broke my ribs. And he said, I didn't say nothing about it. It hurt. He said, I didn't say nothing about it. He said, I continued the rest of the film with broke ribs. He said, but he slammed me that hard up next to that tree. He did not like the fact that he was going to die. But I've only seen the Sans Iwo Jima like 2 times. I can't watch it. John Wayne dying at the end, that just sucks.
And then The Shootist.
I only watched The Shootist in recent times, CW, and it was a really good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wanted to slap Opie through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Me too.
and but the end of it, I was like, the old man went out with some dignity, but that's the only time I've ever watched it. I just always liked the Rio Bravos, the El Dorados, and that type of movie. That and the Clint Eastwood Westerns was really my era. John Wayne was before my era, but I grew up watching the repeats, but Eastwood, the spaghetti westerns. Why is everybody's mouth not working with the? Oh, they're from foreign country. I didn't understand that till I got
Oh,
older.
Bruce Dern he got a little age on him now.
Oh, Bruce Dern's old,
Hey,
but he played
90 years old.
he played the best bad guy ever. I mean, think about him in Down Periscope with
Oh,
Kelsey
yeah.
Grammer.
The Admiral.
He was a bad guy in that, and it was great. You
Yeah,
know,
it was.
it was great.
Admiral Graham.
Graham and Ham.
It's Admiral. What's his name?
Yeah, it's Admiral. What's his name? Yeah, but you know, I've learned to appreciate some of the old black and white westerns. I can't necessarily watch the whole movie, but I'll catch them on YouTube, little snippets of the. And one I'm surprised I never saw in its entirety. What's the one with Charles Bronson and oh my God, who's the famous actor?
Oh, Ford. I mean, not
no,
Ford. Fonda.
Fonda.
How the West was won.
How the West was won. I never
Great
watched
movie.
that whole movie,
Great.
and I caught big chunks of it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, how did I miss this movie? Because
great. One of my favorites. Yeah.
It was a great movie. I hadn't seen it in like 30 years. But
and for those of y'all that have not watched the recent remakes, the Magnificent Seven was great. The remake of Magnificent Seven with Denzel Washington, and it was great.
Yeah,
it was good.
Real good movie.
And Denzel does that twist draw just so smooth. It's almost liquid the way he pulls those guns out. I was like,
Denzel is one of my favorite actors.
Oh Lord, yeah,
he's amazing.
Yeah,
he is a bad guy in a heartbeat.
There's one that I absolutely hated Henry Fonda in. I wanted to hunt him down and shoot him my dang self. And it was either How the West Was Won or Once Upon a Time in the West.
Once Upon a Time in the West, I think that.
Who wasn't?
I think that's I think that's the name of the movie, CW, with Charles Bronson. The one where Charles Bronson appears. The train comes and they're waiting for him to get off the train, and the train leaves, and there he is. Yeah, that
one too many horses or two too many horses.
Yeah, Henry Fonda plays a bad guy in that. He kills kids and women, and I think that's the one you're talking about, Jamie. He's just a bad dude.
Yeah, he needed to be killed, as John Wayne would have said.
Oh yeah,
that's me, Walks. I went to the movie to see The Shootist in the theater. I actually saw The Shootist in the theater. And I have watched it since, but yeah, that's a heck of a good movie.
It is. It is.
And you're right, Six. That is a spaghetti. That one is.
The first movie Clint Eastwood produced when he came back in America was High Plains Drifter, where he paints the town red, Lago red, and renames it Hell.
Yeah.
And he's an avenging angel or avenging demon, whichever way you want to look at it.
Man with no name. Yeah.
Man with no name.
But isn't that eerily similar to Pale Rider?
It's eerily similar to Pale Rider. Yeah. And a lot of his westerns, he didn't have a name, And Good, Bad, and Ugly. Everybody called him Blondie. Blondie. Yeah. I still appreciate Sergio Leone for what he did. It was like, let me take my glasses off. Diddle-a-loop.
And Silverado.
Silverado, I always called Silverado a classic Hollywood Western. The shooting really wasn't realistic, but it was good. It was a good Western.
That was what it was supposed to be, man.
Exactly.
It was a spoof of the Western being a
Yeah.
Western.
The strap down gun.
All right, it's time for the verse of the week. Y'all ready for the verse of the week?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're only doing one verse, but we're building off of last week's. We're talking about Isaiah chapter 6, Isaiah's great throne room scene. And let's just review these verses as quickly as possible. Verse 1 says, in the year that King Uzziah died, I saw the Lord sitting on a throne, high and lifted up, and the train of his robe filled the temple. Verse 2, above it stood seraphim. Each one had 6 wings. With 2 he covered his face, with 2 he covered his feet, and with 2 he flew. And one cried to another and said, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door were shaken by the voice of him who cried out, and the house was filled with smoke. Then verse 5. So I said, woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, the Lord of hosts. John MacArthur there says, one thing I'll point out before I get into MacArthur and some other notes. We talked about the seraphim. We talked about the Lord on the throne, high and lifted up, and the majesty and the power and the holiness of what Isaiah saw right there. And then we get to verse 5 and it hits him. Think about the seraphim who are holy and how they are in God's presence, but they won't let their eyes look at him, and they won't bare their feet before the holiness of God. And they fly with two of their wings. And Isaiah sees this. And his immediate reaction is, woe is me, for I am undone. I'm a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. When you've seen the Lord, when you've seen the King, the Lord of hosts, you realize how holy and how majestic he is, and how we're not. And I think that's what's falling on Isaiah in this verse. John MacArthur writes there, if the lips are unclean, so is the heart. This vision of God's holiness vividly reminded the prophet of his own unworthiness, which deserved judgment. Job in Job 42:6 and Peter in Luke 5:8 came to the same realization about themselves when confronted with the presence of the Lord. And he references Ezekiel 1:28 through chapter 2, verse 7, and Revelations 1:17. So what made Isaiah feel like he was coming apart? 2 things. First, the sight and the sound of the seraphim. And second, the vision of the Lord God. So when Isaiah saw the angels in all their holy humility, their obedience, and their praise to God, he realized not only that he was unlike the Lord God, he was also unlike the angels. They could cry out, holy, 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 and praise God so beautifully, but he could not, because he was, quote, a man of unclean lips. So when Isaiah saw the Lord, he knew what kind of a man he was. As poorly as he compared to the seraphim, that was nothing in relation to how he compared to the Lord. This vision or actual experience of the throne of God did not immediately make Isaiah feel good. The more clearly he saw the Lord, the more clearly he saw how bad his state was. Isaiah's deep sense of depravity is consistent with the experience of other godly men in the presence of the Lord. And we talked about Job 42, 5 and 6. Job says, I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. Therefore I abhor myself and repent in dust and ashes. Peter in Luke 5:8, when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, Depart from me, for I'm a sinful man, O Lord. And then and John in Revelation 1:17 says, And I saw him, and I fell at his feet as dead. But he laid his right hand on me, saying to me, Do not be afraid, for I am the first and the last. They all had these similar experiences. Charles Spurgeon there says, God will never do anything with us till he has first of all undone us. Got to get self out of the way. Isaiah saw his sinfulness and the sinfulness of his people, mainly in terms of sinful speech. Isaiah didn't think for a moment that this was his only sin, but he saw that it was an example of the great and incurable disease of sin in him and his people. And we'll keep going through Isaiah chapter 6. It's one fascinating book of the Bible. And this, the throne room scene and what we've been talking about and what the upcoming verses, what Isaiah, how he reacts to it. And think about this, guys. We think of Isaiah. Isaiah was a priest and a prophet, and probably, like I was telling Mama Dad earlier, it's like he was probably the most educated of all the prophets of the Old Testament. But and we think of him as a great human being, and he was. But in the sight of the creator of the universe, who loves us so, it's a humbling thing.
I reckon.
So that's all I got. Any questions or comments?
No, I got it.
If I was before the presence of the Lord Almighty, and Isaiah feels like he can't stack up to it, I best be wearing a set of Depends, because, yeah, it's going to be bad.
Now, Rebel, that might be a sin in itself.
Oh yeah, it might be, but
I don't think you're going to need no Depends.
That's a whole lot of power in front of you and perfection, absolute perfection. That's what Isaiah was seeing, is absolute perfection.
In every way.
Yep.
You know, I kind of look at it, compare it to like when Moses was given the 10 Commandments. They said when he came down off the mountain, they had to cover his face because the glory of God showed so bright people couldn't even look at him.
And he was a human being, you know.
Well, so was Isaiah.
Well, and what I'm saying is, how much was that toned down, and they couldn't even look at him?
Oh, yeah. That was just the remnants of being in his presence.
And I always say the closest I've come to seeing perfection is watching my children be born. And I know they're not perfect. Of course. I mean, God knows I raised them. They're not perfect, far from it. But when they first are in this earth, they know no sin. They know no anything. They're hungry. They're cold. They want very simple things. And you're just looking at a perfect little human being. As perfect as they're ever going to be. Because as soon as you start talking to them, they start learning us and how defective their parents are, you know. And you can be a good parent and still be defective. God knows I'm proof of that. But you're right. You're right, Jamie. Isaiah is a good chapter.
I love Isaiah. I like John's gospel a little bit better.
Yeah, John gets in more detail. I think of that. Isaiah's more emotional, though.
Talking about emotional, Jeremiah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go, Tim S. Thanks for listening to me, brother. I want to thank y'all for allowing me to do the verse of the week. It means a lot to me.
We know it does, Jamie, and it means a lot to us. I mean, it makes us very reflective upon everyday life. Sometimes your verse of the week literally makes the problems of my life, the past week or whatever, just seem nonsense. Oh, well, that's nothing, you know, compared to the story you might be telling from the Bible. You know, gives me peace. For ornery guy like me, I need that.
I think sometimes it does us all good to realize that there's something a lot bigger than us out there.
Oh yeah.
And I know, a lot of guys play sports, they're in the military and stuff like that, but God's the ultimate bigger than us that's out there. And he's reaching and seeking. All we got to do is, like Dave said earlier, he gives us free will.
I tried to channel my inner Jamie a couple of weeks ago when my daughter was explaining a case she was working on, and she's a prosecutor, assistant DA, and she showed us, she probably shouldn't have, but she showed us a murder video, and it was horrible. It was done on closed circuit TV in a store. And she said, I'm hoping to get a conviction on this guy. And I said, why wouldn't you? And she said, you'd be surprised how the courts are. And I said, well, God's on your side, Sadie. God's on your side. And she said, there's a lot of times I don't feel like it. You know, I can imagine being in the court system as a young person in this day and age and having to, this guy's getting the death penalty. I mean, he's up. He could get life. He could get death. Now North Carolina's revisited the death penalty because of their slackness, you know.
Well, that's one of the things that's happening in our country that's really blowing my mind is the way some of these people that have immigrated into our country and have found their way into even into our politics, and they're wanting us to adopt or allow them to utilize Sharia law. I got
Well,
one thing to say. There's one law in this land. It's the Constitution of the United States of America. Period. And
No, I totally recognize it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to follow it.
and Bama Dad, I'm not even talking about Sharia law. I'm talking about, and no offense to anyone listening, I'm talking about people. I would use the word Yankee, but CW's my buddy. People from moving from more liberal states to the South for to lessen their tax burden and bringing their politics with them.
yeah,
and
you're coming here because you're where you from. Y'all screwed it up there. Don't come down here and do it.
That's a bigger danger than the Sharia thing. The Sharia thing's affected Minneapolis, and then now it's arguably affecting our Congress with several people in the squad. And I'm getting a little political here, and I'll back off that. But
you know who I was talking about.
Oh, sure, I do. When people move from one area to another, and I moved around a lot as a kid. I was always taught to assimilate culture, and fortunately, I always lived in the South, so I assimilated North Georgia, I assimilated Eastern North Carolina, I assimilated Western North Carolina. And you were supposed to, assimilate, but never. Your core beliefs were X, but you assimilated the culture. My dad never did that. Unfortunately, he was a product of. I hate to say this, Jamie. He's a Georgia Bulldog. He got his PhD from Georgia, and he always held that up above other people. And well, I don't need to assimilate because I'm smart. Well, I'm smart too, but guess what? You get along a whole lot better with people when you talk like they do, when you eat what they eat, when you believe what they believe, and it doesn't go against your core beliefs, then fine, whatever. That's a whole lot way away from Isaiah, but I think our biggest problem right now in this country is the court system. You got cops and lawyers trying to get the evil out of this world, and the higher ups just, no bail, cash bail, whatever, no cash bail. See you later. You stab somebody, you shoot somebody. Okay, that's fine. We'll see you back in court in a few months.
Okay, guys, we got to start going through the room and clear the deck for Chad. He took his wife out to supper tonight, so I hope they had a good time.
Must be nice.
You want to go first, Rebel? What you got coming up, bud?
Just what I said. Playing with that 308. I'll have won't have any videos, but I'll have a report, maybe some pictures and stuff coming up. Kind of the morphology of easy round to load for. So, Kyle, what you got?
Just sitting here looking like this for right now. Got all my 44 mags loaded up. Got one German Shepherd staring out the back door and one staring out the kitchen door. You know how they do.
You're surrounded. Yeah.
That's just I got them just where I want them. Finally got dinner choked down. I'm getting ready to go to bed because I have to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I hear
So
you.
that's what I got going on. What about you, Walter?
Well, we excuse me. We got Moldy Monday coming up on Monday. We got another pretty good wad cutter video. The second part of that new brass mold that I got from NOE turned out to be a great bullet and good shooter. That's coming up on Wednesday, and I got a range trip planned for Monday because I got a couple new firearms. California's getting ready to ban Glocks and everybody who looks like Glocks, literally.
Oh no.
It's just the only thing left is for the governor to sign it, and you know our governor, so he probably will. So I picked up one more Glock, Glock 20 SF 10 millimeter. That's one of only 2 10 millimeters we can get in
That's
California.
the best millimeter, you know.
Yeah, says who? You're a long way away.
And
Anyway.
11 millimeter.
Yeah, 11 millimeter. Yeah, that's the 2011, right? Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna shoot that one, and I also grabbed a while I was in there, the Ruger Max 10 380. That one finally became legit in California, and so I picked up one of those too. So I'm gonna go shoot that one and
Cool.
get rid of some stacked up ammo. So that's what's happening out here in Viejo land. We might get some rain Tuesday. Kind of looking forward to that, and we're hoping for it. So that's what's up here. How about you there, Mr. Kyle? What do you got going on?
No, it goes the other way to Bama.
Oh, we're going up to we're going upstairs.
Yeah, Bama Dad.
We're
gotta
going
go
north to
Bama,
Bama.
Dad. We're going north to Alabama.
I don't have a whole lot planned. I got a new spotting scope that's supposed to be here before 10 o'clock tonight. And we'll see how that thing is. I don't know if I can really tell at night, but I'll go out tomorrow and have a look at it. Guess I'm gonna take a ride up to Talladega tomorrow and shoot a little bit. And go to the CMP range. If anybody over in Georgia wants to meet me.
You gonna bust it out in 6?
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do.
I hear you. It ain't nothing but a thing.
Yeah. At least, you know, get the barrel worked in a little bit and make sure the scope's, you know, right.
Right. Got you.
I'd love to go, but I'll be at work until 2 or 3. So,
Well, we all need to get together and go. Whenever
I'm
y'all
off Wednesdays and Thursdays.
any Tuesday and Thursday. Jamie, you want to? We'll see. We'll all get together and see what we can do.
Yeah, we got to clear the deck right now, but I'd absolutely love to. And we already lost CW. Yep, battery died.
After he was bragging about no battery pack.
Yeah, I'm gonna get with him. I sent him a dang laptop, man. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go up to Connecticut and hook it up for him and get it all working for him. But yeah, man, we want to thank all y'all for being with us this evening. I would love to go and take Kyle and maybe Ricky Baird. I think that'd be a good trip. So we're going to work on that. I need a range trip pretty quick. I got to make a video. And other than that, man, I want to tell y'all something. Number 624 says, "The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace." The Lord loves you, and we're trying. And if he's willing, we'll see y'all next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.
Good
Good night, everybody. Thanks for coming.